so nice. I want this house to feel alive. Like we've put the moss over the roof and the moss is growing, it's continuing. There's vines, there's nature. This house is as much a part of the forest as any other part. I don't know where I'm going with that. But now we have another task that we must turn our attention to. All of this camp is still out here, I haven't moved it. This is where I've been going to do my smelting. I have already moved the storage system across because it was going to take a lot of time just to sort through everything. This is only a little storage system. I have plans for a grand storage system where I can place many boxes of things and stuff. I can have everything at my disposal. There will be no grinding, there will be no going out and collecting blocks off camera and taking so much time. I just have to go into the storage system, take what I need and get started. But I mean, the rest is kind of, it's empty. The first thing naturally to do is to take everything down from this tree. I'm going to move this bed because I don't think I'm going to continue sleeping downstairs. We have this room up here and I may just put it in this little nook. That seems a good place to put it. I want every part of this interior to feel functional in some way, so I have a good idea for over the back here, but that requires me to craft something new. Now the way this works is it's supposed to interact with the tools I put in. Can it only have the one? No, it can have both. And if I shift, I can then change the pose of how they look. But this also gives me racks that can go on the wall. So if I use a sword as an example, that's how that displays. So perhaps this end I kind of want a bit of a display. And potentially some kind of cabinet type thing going along the edge there. I don't need these back now. What do I fill this out with, I wonder? Maybe we continue the dark oak. We've got some stairs. We have something like that. And in fact, let's move this banner. How does one build an armor stat? The game doesn't want to tell me. I think that's because I need smooth stone, which I have not crafted yet. I've crafted smooth stone, I've not double crafted, I've not done like double smooth stone. Right, whilst that's cooking, let's work on a different area. Let's work upstairs in the roof, because I already have an idea of what to do with that. So the key thing is I don't like how empty this room looks up here, so we're going to fill it out. But firstly, we need spore blossoms. I would say spore blossoms are my absolute favourite item in the game. Anything that adds particles and life. Yeah, that looks better. I'm not going to go adding any vines because they will grow and make a mess, and I may end up changing my mind about these ones that are so low down, but that improves the lighting somewhat. It definitely changes the way the roof looks. That's a roof I'm happy with. Now, has this finished? Yes, it has. I should now learn how to make an armor stand. If we put one in there, that all looks really nice. I think that would look better if I didn't have a minimal texture pack, but I still feel like that could look okay. Tools, let's have a look. What tools have we got? We'll use some of the extra ones. We'll just take them all. It begins to fill it out somewhat, I think. Let's have a look around outside. Interiors is never really something I've focused too much on before, I'll be honest. Maybe take a trim out here and there. Well, in fact, that doesn't make a difference because it goes under, so put that over the top. It still looks like it's flowing down. This one's heading around here. Let's have this wrap around further. That should be all the leaves done wrapping around here. That gives me a bit of an idea of where I can put stuff. I think we've got this area here and this area here. They're both back onto flat walls. We could do something with that. I think here, because it's a little larger, I might make a stable for the horse. It's already getting dark again. Very much breaks the flow having to sleep all the time, but the nature of our surroundings makes it necessary to sleep. There we go, I think that works. Hold up, wait, what? This skeleton is holding 2 eggs and nothing else. Is this a thing? Can skeletons spawn with holding eggs? Is this something I'm unaware of? I want to keep him. Don't move. Don't move. You are being kept. Please do not follow me into the sun. If I trap him in a boat and name tag him, I'm keeping you. Stay. Yes! I need to build you a box. I should have enough iron to rename a name tag. But that's not a job for right now. Ah, what? Okay, so he couldn't do anything before, but now he's punching me. This is... I don't know what's... Ow! Stop hitting me with the eggs! I know naturally he's not going to go anywhere, he's already protected, but this just... This secures him. We are going to need a sign. Maybe I should name tag him now to make sure he doesn't go anywhere. Name tag. We have a name tag. What do we call him? He's a tame skeleton. Mostly tame skeleton. Holding 2 eggs. I should be thinking of a really funny name and I'm just blanking on everything. There we go. This is Skinny. So named because he has no skin. I'll probably change the name later. I needed to put something down. I needed to name him something. Right, back to this area. The stables. We could get some more dark oak planks, if I've got any left, and continue this roof. Oh, except that would end a bit too low. If we have it go like that, and then like that, it would then come out by 1. It needs to come out by another 1. In fact, we could change the slab itself to just have that be another trim. And we do some more of our moss work in the middle. And even link it up to the bit that's up there. That's where the trim would be. We can just continue these up. I almost want to do the same on this side. And then we have to run back in to go to sleep. I was going to add a fence along here. Maybe this is how I come in. Maybe we make this the foraging area. And then just like before, if we just fill it in with moss so we know where we want to put things. Right, I don't like it being a full block above. We had some variation, that'll do something for us. In fact, I can probably take out some of the ones in the middle, since we've got the 2-layered effect going on. Now we need to get the actual furniture in. And again, I think we're going to use even more of the racks. So this absolutely should be where the stonecutter and anvil are. But I feel like this middle section should be lava. So I'm thinking... just something like that. Everything burns down. I will be unhappy, and it will make for a good video. Oh, a wandering trader has arrived nearby. I don't have any emeralds. We may as well have a look. So, lots of different mini blocks. We do have a data pack that allows me to craft them, so I'm not in any rush for them. And not really much else that's useful. We'll let him just wander around. He's here admiring the house. See, he wants to admire everything. Don't go in there. No. Don't walk in the lava. Right, and then we put a stone cutter in there. Anvil in there. We want iron bars somewhere. Oh, an idea has formed. I don't want to risk the idea with the lava there. I could replace these with the furnaces. We have 2 blast furnaces. Put them there. We have 2 smokers, which we'll put there. And if we just have 2 normal ones of them, the front can continue to be detailed like so. We then put the lava back in. Where can I put these? Best place would be there, which means taking that out. Oh, that's going to be a fun idea. Let's just do that. Lose the furnace, that's fine. And not expensive. Stone cutter there. Anvil there. We could do a chimney right on the edge of this house. It would take away from the trim, it would also block up that wall from being able to be used for anything. Kind of want all that on show. I may just do some campfires and leave it at that, with a sort of faux chimney effect. Like an extractor fan. Now, since we have mini blocks, it might be good to grab a few different ore blocks if we've got any. Which we don't. We could make some with some gold and copper. And some coal. And have like piles of ores laying around. I like the coal should be piled up outside. Maybe just around here. But a nice big pile of copper and gold. I will add more iron, diamonds, that sort of thing when I have iron and diamonds and that sort of thing. In fact, I feel like that should be like that, blocked off, to prevent me or anyone else walking in there. But I feel like this area is pretty good. I feel like this area is okay. The floor isn't textured. We'll be getting to the floor later. But that is solid. Perhaps if you replace that, that looks okay. That fits in line with things. I think by putting that there, it makes sense why we then have coal to be shoveled in. Now what I want to do is fill these racks with iron tools. Or potentially gold tools over here, iron tools on that side. Just don't have enough. So we shall leave that as it is. And to move on to the stable. So with this, we just have it come down like so. The edge of that block, is it there? No, it's there. And if we did something like that, and we can try the trick with the gates again. I can line them up correctly. Now, we rather want to decorate that with hay bales. Now, this I may store off to the side. Well, ideally you'd want the hay in the same area. You need to keep it sheltered. You need to keep it dry. It's not a very wide area, so we may need to move it out by a block, but that comes with its own advantage. That looks better, because now we can certainly come along and pass some wheat around. That's a cauldron full of water, but that may have to wait due to the iron situation. That works, and the last thing we want is just a fence post in the middle, just so that we can have somewhere to attach this lead to. Because you've been there a long time, so if you now move, get hooked up to that. For the most part, that does keep you underneath the roof. Now, I'm not sure what to do with this. This is a very nice window area. I don't really want to keep it open, I want to fill it with something. Now, we do have a small assortment of diamonds, so I may use one to make a jukebox. We can have the jukebox at this end somewhere, maybe just in the corner. That looks okay. Feel like given the iconic look from the first video, but we should keep the salmon head out, just constantly watching me with this dead-eye stare. It is super creepy, that. I don't like it. Now, this end, I don't need something to go in this area. You've seen how we've got this wall that divides things off here, so we can go as far out as this beam without impeding this walkway. Maybe a line of bookshelves. That could work. Not an enchanting setup, a line of bookshelves. Potentially something like this. Not entirely closed off. Feel like maybe this one ought to go. Ah, okay, I did not realise they were only one-sided. So I could turn a couple round. Oh, okay, so you don't get those back without Silk Touch. In a way, it impedes off the bay window. So maybe we have to get rid of these two bits. That way there's still that line there, but it's not totally blocked. Feel like I want mini bookcases. I want mini bookcases. Yeah, mini bookcases. Oh, we can't make mini bookshelves. But we can take these two books and start putting them in. So let's put that one there. Put Silk Touch there. Fill that out with a couple of books. I'm going to leave the floor for now because I don't know what to do with it. And rather than try and guess, I think it's better to give it some careful thought. Now, the last place to do something is this room, and I have even less of an idea of what to do up here than I did downstairs. I think as well I'm going to leave this room empty. I'm also going to move the bed back downstairs because it's getting annoying going up this ladder, and have the bed hidden behind here. That way I can kind of sleep in a little cozy corner. So let's walk through. So we have this cozy little area where I spawn in, surrounded by bookshelves, chisel bookshelves. We have some music, this really good bay window. We move over here into the functional area. We've got all of this storage. The storage is overflowing. We've got so much. Some display areas for tools. The tools and the armor will likely get replaced once we get stuff worthy of display. We have the salmon head crafting table and a painting. There's loads of new paintings. I'm going to have to look into that. Moving upstairs. We've left this room blank. We will find a purpose for it later, but we have done the roof. The roof is really nice. Love the roof. Moving outside, we have the forge area. This area I'm going to spend so much time in, smelting things up. I'm going to be running back here a lot for the mini blocks, and I think these piles are just going to grow when I actually have more resources. And when I need to travel around, my trusty horse has its own little stable on the side of the house. It could be argued that the stable roof should be the same as the forge roof, which is also the same as the main roof, and have nature spread across. I may change that later. This is an ongoing process. So now that we have fully moved in, the next thing we need to look at is the map. This is the fully explored map of our continent. This continent is needing a name. We have a wide variety of resources in this area alone. dark oak, birch, oak, a patch of spruce, a patch of cherry blossom, there's jungle wood, bamboo. Down here, there's a mesa next to a desert. Around here I also found a desert temple. We have this savanna here. This is actually the mountain you may have seen in the background of some of the clips. Definitely want to do something with that mountain. It looks really, really cool. We have a lot of space to play with. And over time, we're going to be adding more and more to this continent. But the first thing we need to do is actually find a way of getting around it. If I zoom in on our little patch, this is our house. And we are completely cut off by a river surrounding us. So the next thing to do is to lay down where the pathways are going to go and potentially build some bridges. Now, this may look like I'm just doing the complete opposite of what I should be doing. I have just taken down half the forest, and that seems counterproductive to what I'm looking for. That is quite a lot of destruction. Honestly, these pathways have come together very, very nicely. I'm beginning to see the full picture of what I want this area to look like. Now, the bridges aren't textured yet, but that will be a job for later. I can always do that off screen. And I've got to say, just the mini blocks are working perfectly. Rather than just use simple buttons to represent little rock piles, these just work. But as you can see, I have torn down quite a lot of the dark forest. And that's what's stored in these chests. We have 4 double chests filled with dark oak logs. So I'm good for wood for a while. That may seem opposite to my intentions. I wanted to live in a dark enchanted forest. Why have I removed the trees? And it's because I'm going to build my own. Custom trees is something I have done in very limited amounts, and I have thought up a design for a custom tree that is a bit different to the vanilla dark oak trees, but also still appearing vanilla and not too customized. So it's a good middle ground. So if I just go down into this open area, we can build a tree. We're going to use the dirt to represent the trunk and the cobblestone to represent the leaves. So the first thing I'm going to do is just build up the basic shape of the trunk. And how about, whilst I'm going through this, we stick this in a third-person camera just so that you have a better view of what I'm doing. So I'm just going to start pillaring up. I want these trees to be a much taller tree line, which is why the trunk is going to be much taller. but we also want them to curve a little bit as well. Let's have this one come off the edge here. Is this a good height? I feel like this is a good height. Now, so far, doesn't exactly look the best. It looks very blocky. So let's just add some extra little bits in to kind of add some edging to it. So there is our trunk design, but we're also going to give it a little bit of extra roots at the bottom to make it feel like it's more heavily planted in the ground. Now before we do the leaves at the top, we're going to just replace this now with dark oak. So that is now our dirt tower converted straight into dark oak. As I said, I want this to be very similar to the vanilla dark oak trees, so I won't be doing any texturing or things like that to it. It's going to look very basic, but I think it should still look fine. So next, we need to get some cobblestone out to represent the leaves. Now, with dark oak trees, it's the middle layer that's the widest. So we will do this one first. And this one's sort of leaning in this direction. I'll just try and start building and I can round it off in a second. One of the only reasons I'm currently doing this with cobblestone and not straight with the leaves is because I don't have silk touch on a hoe. And so without silk touch, this just makes it much easier so that I can get everything in place without making any mistakes. I'm constantly checking to make sure that I'm making this a decent size. I don't want it to be way too big, but I also don't want it to be way too small either, since we are making larger trees. Now let me just take a quick look. I feel like this is a decent sized canopy for this size tree. I am suddenly realizing I should have done the bottom level first. That would have made this much easier. Now this top level is the smallest, so we don't necessarily want to go too far out. Also isn't necessarily much even either. And now I need to somehow do the bottom layer from underneath. And now the next job is to convert this into leaves, and I'm already recognizing a problem. The problem I have is that this canopy has taken over 2 stacks of cobblestone to do. It took maybe just over a stack to do the trunk, but 2 stacks to do the leaves. I have 4 double chests of logs and 1 double chest of leaves, so I'm going to need to get more resources. One thing I find with the vanilla trees is they're just a bit too rigid, which is why I've tried to have a better angle on this trunk. It's why I'm trying to make the canopy a little bigger, but this is very much new ground for me. I am not someone who does custom trees often, and they're also quite a laborious, time-consuming task. I have been very inefficient whilst attempting to build this. There are much better ways I could have done this. I just didn't want to make any mistakes given the shortage of leaves. This looks quite good. I am very happy with this tree. This feels like just a taller, improved version of the vanilla dark oak tree. A much steeper angle to the ones I've already built as well, so that's also a good thing. And the key thing as to why I've built it in this design is the forest floor is still going to be in darkness. Monsters will still be able to spawn, we'll still get that Dark Enchanted vibe from it. The only part of this area that's going to be lit is the pathways themselves, but by raising the roof it just allows this area to be much more visible. I'll be able to see through the tree line a lot easier, down the pathways towards the house. And over time as well, the entire Dark Oak Forest will be converted to use this custom tree style, but that is a task that will take days. We now have Lightmatica back, as it has been updated to the current version, and I'm going to use it to add this tree to my list of schematics as well as the other trees I have already made, to add variation to the custom trees in this area. I don't really know how to send off this project. On the one hand, the trees have done exactly what I want them to do. They have raised the roof, they have opened the forest up so I can see down. The floor is still dark, but I think it's lost the density of the original forest, so more work is needed. But this project has taken a very, very long time. And I suppose that's the thing with projects, is they're not gonna work first time, they're not going to be perfectly done. Whilst this is not 100% of what I intended to do, it's more than 0%. It's better to have something than nothing. The early game has finished. We have the starter house, we have some tools. Now it's time to solve our issues. Enchantments, food, protection, and above all else, surviving the night.